Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of May the Code Be With Us with KSP Rp-1. So we're in the second launch for the sounding rockets. I have taken the past the Carmen line contract, and that should give us a good amount of money if we get there. I also have a sounding rocket altitude contract that is only to 45 kilometers, I think. So that definitely shouldn't be a problem. So let's get on with it. I am a bit concerned about failures since, wow, lag. Yeah, uh, environmental vision enhancements has to go, but I like it so much. Maybe I should try like getting rid of the city lights and the auroras and see if just the clouds has that balance between performance and eye candy. But yeah, right now this is a lot of lag. Anyway, what I was saying, I'm a bit concerned about failures because last flight we had a failure very early on, and I know like a failure gives extra data for the engines, but it also stops recording data for the rest of the flight, I think. So I'm not sure if in the end we ended up with more or less data on these engines, and it's still just one flight with one engine, so I have no way of checking how much data I have compared to the, like with the test flight UI, the previous version. It is no longer here. And I forgot to check in the VAB, obviously. I'm also curious to see how science works, because apparently it said that it's automatic, that you don't need to start running the experiments. Here I have the script for this experiment to run in during the second stage once we're in high atmosphere, because well, we got most of the data for low atmosphere in the previous flight. But then I'm not sure if since it transitioned to high atmosphere that it started gathering data from that instead. So I'm just checking to see if this changes at all during the flight before getting into high atmosphere. Okay, clean stage separation. And actually now that I noticed the altitude, no, I think it's set to start the experiment after this stage burns out. Otherwise, yes, it's still very much lower target atmosphere. I do have some limitations. Yes. I was doing a crash test before this, and of course it keeps the notifications of the contracts that you theoretically completed in that simulation, but then of course you don't actually get the funds for that. If we pass the Carmen line, I think I will have enough funds to buy at least one upgrade point, start getting upgrades into those buildings. Yeah, this hasn't changed, so I really need to check the mechanics of herbalism science. Okay, so that's flame out, and we almost reached 200 kilometers in Apogee, so that's quite good. We're definitely getting that contract complete. I don't know if the experiment is running. Why did it stop? Yeah, I really need to check these things. And I should just start like, running all these experiments from the start. I think you need to like, it's not like before that you needed to run the experiment at the moment where you had something like a new biome or something, but you just start running and then it gathers data whenever it's in the right situation. Okay, so we've reached Apogee, and let's see what we got. The contract that I took, 1200 meters per second, not bad. 1500. The 100 kilometers altitude record, the Carmen line, which was very good. 120, 140, 160, 180. And what's this out there? Oh, okay. So yeah, we're doing good in funds now. With this I can afford at least one upgrade point, and depending on the available contracts that we have now and the cost of the next rocket after rush building, I'll probably buy another contract upgrade point. So yeah, the only thing that's missing is to see if this survives strip down. I don't think it's necessary to recover it since this has been transmitting science, but it would be nice, and well, yeah, I think we will get like science for recovering something from space. So yeah, hope it survives. So yeah, it seems that that is it's just transmitting every piece of data as it comes, so you don't have to do everything within one launch. Bloody hell. Again? Well, at least fortunately, like it should have been saved while it was in space, so there's no chances of having a failure next time we go around. So I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. It will still be the same episode, but I have to go out in a little bit, so I'll see you then. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, so yes, I reloaded the save, and I was able to catch the switch to the vessel before it entered the atmosphere and got deleted by KSP. And we got 5 nice science points to add to this. Now let's hope that it doesn't crash. Actually, it crashed twice. This is my 3rd attempt at recovering this, so I got rid of all the mods except Scatterer, and hopefully that will do the trick. Scatterer might probably have to go still because the sun looks weird with just Scatterer. But actually, let's see. Well, this makes its way. We did lose a few fins there, if you noticed. Yeah, I think Scatterer also needs to go. Okay, that was a bit explosive that I wanted, but so I don't seem to have gotten a notification for recovering the rocket. So I think it, like all the since the telemetry unit did not survive, maybe it did not count, which would suck. And yeah, nothing to yes. Unfortunately, that it does not seem to have given us any science. So still 9 points away from the first upgrade point. But I think with the funds we have, it's about time to buy one. And yeah, should go into the VAB. I'm not going to bother like distributing them right now. So I'm going to check the next missions and see what will be the next mission. I'm going to check the next contracts, I mean, and then see what will be the next mission. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we can probably need these two intermediate sounding rockets. So it's going to be altitude. Needs to reach 100 kilometers with 105 units of payload. And distance 190 kilometers with 65 units of payload. That shouldn't be too hard. Let me see how much weight it puts on the rocket, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've decided I'm just going to go for the contract that requires only 65 units of sounding rocket payload, and I'm also going to try to go for the recovery from something from a suborbital flight. I'm not sure if that one is going to be successful because, as you can see, this nose is pretty long, and already in the previous one the rocket did not survive the splashdown, so I'm not too hopeful. But I think that contract has a deadline of like a year, so if I accept it just before launching, I should have a few tries to get it right. And yeah, so this one I can fit up to 130 units, but I'm going to just have the 65, otherwise it loses too much delta V. But yeah, this way I can tool this one and then use it, fill it up a little bit more for future launches. So actually let's just do that right now. How much is this going to be? 4,000. Okay, so I'll come back for the launch. Okay, so we're at the launch pad, and like I said, we have the downrange distance contract. It has to be 190 kilometers. Excuse me. And we have the suborbital trajectory return, which actually does not have a deadline. And yeah, 190 kilometers downrange. This one has a 1-year deadline, so shouldn't be a problem. I changed the code to start taking science from the start. Okay, all experiments are running, that's good. Let's see, no, to see your science tick up. I feel that I inclined the rocket a little bit too much. This is not going to reach space, I don't think. And for the downrange contract, it needs to be, it needs to reach space at the very least. Well, that's flame out, and we had an overwhelming apogee of 21 kilometers. So definitely gave it too much of an aggressive angle. I have to rectify that. I'm not entirely sure that this rocket will have enough juice to get to space and do the 190 kilometers. I mean, of course this was a very suboptimal trajectory for this, but even then, we made it to, well, we'll probably make it to 100 kilometers. It's not that much. At least now I know that, because I never know which direction it's going to go whenever I tilt it in the VAB. Now I know whichever direction I chose, that's going to be south. So now I can aim it west, pretend there's nobody living in the Yucatan Peninsula, and that should help me get some extra downrange distance by going against the spin of the Earth. And it was lost again. So I think I'm going to try one more time with this rocket without the parachute. I can take care of the suborbital return mission later, and if that doesn't get the required downrange distance, then I'll go for a bigger rocket. So one more launch in this episode. Okay, so several things. Yes, we're back. This is going to be the last launch for the episode, and also the plane just completed. So next morning, or well, more noon when it's good light out, I'll take it for a spin, and that's going to be next episode. And also in a little bit more than one day, we will get our first tech node unlocked. So all good stuff. Let's try this one for one last time. I tried to get a very light tilt towards the west. It seems to be going northwest, but okay, I can live with that. So let's get yeah, here, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, second stage went without a hitch. I still feel we might be a little bit too tilted, but let's see. And I would say we ended up quite close to the 45 degrees, so this was pretty much the optimal trajectory, and we were short of the 100 kilometers that we needed for the downrange. No, not the downrange contract, oh no, I didn't get the altitude contract, that's right. But well, we needed to go above 140 for the downrange contract. So yeah, that's not happening either. We need a bigger rocket. But let's just see how far downrange we get. Oh, we just came back to check, and we definitely would have gotten the downrange contract. So okay, at least that. So yeah, if I would have been able to make an even slighter angle, it would have worked with this rocket, but I have no idea how to make such precise adjustments in the VAB. So let's just make a bigger rocket. That way we can nick all the other contracts at once as well. So well, this is going to crash soon. I'll just let it run so that I could get all the science out of it. But it's going to be the last launch for today. Next episode, it's going to be an aircraft mission. I'm probably going to do the X-planes, the first X-plane missions, and try to get the 5,000 meter manned record. And that should give us a little bit of funds, which we're sorely lacking. We're almost right back where we started with all the rush building I've been doing. Yeah. With that rude interruption, I will just say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.